Alright, Friday, March the 17th, 2023, detecting and talk of the day. You know, I'm holding this XP Deus too here with an 11-inch coil. You see that detector right there? Now, I'm not going to tell anybody what to buy. And me holding this machine, I'm not insinuating what you should buy. You buy what you want, use what you want. They all cost money. Some cost more, some cost less than others. Wind's coming up out here. I'm going to talk pretty loud in this camera. Now, you'll be looking around. You may see a live stream. You may see some videos. Now, you know, everybody's got their opinions, okay? They're entitled to their opinions. Just remember, you know, some folks can be incorrect. Some people can be correct. The only thing I can tell you is my experiences with this machine right here, okay? And I've run some other machines. Well, how does this machine here stack up looking for high conductive coins in modern trash? How does it stack up? Is it a good machine? Yep. Is it above average? Yep. Does it do better than some of the older machines that are out there? In certain situations? Yep. Now, you people that are looking to consider buying this machine, you're thinking about buying this machine, you have bought this machine. You know, I got a, well, he's sort of an acquaintance, I guess, up the road here from me, about 32 miles. He's bought one of these machines, you know, and his first name is Doug. I won't say what his last name is. He may see this video. And I'm going to give you some tips here with this machine. Modern trash, if you take this machine out, you run stock programs on it. You run a stock fast, or a stock general, or stock deep high conductor, or a stock park program. Well, if you go into a site that's done seen some action, you could be disappointed with this machine, okay? I ain't gonna fib to you. You could be disappointed. Now keep in mind that park program in particular, if you decide you want to use that, it's got that ground stability setting, I believe, defaulted to level 3. Okay, that's going to cut your depth somewhat. And you know, you can lower that to 2. Okay, get you a little more depth. Don't go to 1. I don't recommend anybody really use this machine at 1 unless you are super experienced, and it would only be for certain situations because the machine won't run as stable. Okay, level 2 is a good place to be on this machine. Ground stability. But just adjusting that in the park program is not going to get you to be all you can be with a Deus 2 in modern trash, okay? And you can take this to me. Take it to the bank. Sharpshooter's not going to lie to you. This goes for any program. The fast, the sensitive, the general, the deep high conductor, the park programs. Looking for high conductors in trash, foil, small pieces of aluminum. Well, the notch system on this machine here will expose a lot of your high conductors better. Allow you to locate them, to isolate them with a call, do control sweeps, see a high conductive ID. You might not even, in some cases, you might not see an ID. But the machine is coming over the notch that you've got set in, okay? Meaning you've got the low mid conductors notched out. Now, something else you got to keep in mind when you use this machine in modern trash. You know, when a detector comes out, you remember when the Equinox come out? They was over there at the detectable event, you know, and they were sweeping that Equinox down across all them coins and whatever, and you could hear how fast that machine was. You know, it is. It's an Equinox 800 was a fast machine. compared to a lot of the predecessors, you know, older units out there. Well, faster on this machine right here is not always better. Faster will help you with, a lot of times, with shallower target recognition. More closer to same plane. When you start getting into the 3D aspect, a lot of times you're going to find this machine run slower. Say, like staying away from reactivity 3, staying away from reactivity 2.5. You might run the 11-inch coil at 2. The 9-inch coil, you're probably going to be wanting to be down around the 1, maybe 0.5 if your ground mineralization will allow for it. Okay, what this is going to do is this going to let this machine lock onto that high conductor, give a longer tone, and maybe even a better ID. Now what you'll see this machine doing a lot of times, if you don't run notch and you sweep over some fall with a high conductor down there, you'll hear a tone alright. But it might be sort of mixed, where it's like, for example, you may hear a tone that's more equivalent to, say, a 78 reading signal. Whereas if you have that low conductor notched out, that tone will be increased in pitch. Okay? And you'll know, you know, you got to think, when you've got the notch engaged on this machine, well, you know what you have notched out for a conductivity level. Now, this does not apply per se to the Deus Mono program in this machine, okay? The ID system in Deus Mono is different than multi-frequency. So if you're coming off of a Deus 1 using a Deus 2 multi-frequency, they work different, especially on mid-depth and, well, deeper targets, okay? The Deus 2 mono works different. So you're going to get when you know you have the notch that you have, the levels of notch you have employed, and you hear a signal, you know, you hear a tone, even a chop signal, well, you know you've got what you have notched out. Let's say you have, for example, let's say you have 0 to 86 notched out in this machine. That should get rid of a lot of your zinc and pennies. So you're sweeping this machine out around and you hear a tone. Well, you know that's not a nickel. It's not probably a pull ring. It's likely high conductor. So the notch system is allowing you basically to do control sweeps over things coming over the notch. Whereas if you don't have notch, you're out there sweeping around, you're getting all that jingle jangle coming into speaker, headphones, and you're not able to isolate. Oh yeah, you can isolate, but the problem is the target has to sound just right. You know, you're not going to stop on a mid upper sounding targeted, you know, tone on a target. You're going to dismiss that using your ears, saying, well, that's not what I'm after. I'm not after that. It's not ringing in high enough. Okay, now, believe it or not, you know, you like running 5 tones. Oh, yeah, you can have your tone break set up. You can have a tone break. You can have the highest tone set up to read where it breaks over maybe at 86 or 87. But when you ain't got notch on this machine and you go to sweeping over them targets, and you know, we generally, you know, we don't go out there and we don't crawl the call around. We sweep it. So yeah, on some of those targets, you sweep over them, and this machine has a tendency where it may even throw a higher ID in the window. But the problem is, it's only in there for a real short period of time. And you may miss it. Or you may see a 78 in the window, or maybe an 80. And you're like, well, that ain't high, that's not what I'm after. If you employ the notch on this machine and you sweep that same target, you're more likely to see, if it is indeed a high conductor, where it'll flash that ID in the window like 88, 90, 91. So, you know, this machine, and this is not in the user's manual, okay? This is not in the user's manual. And, you know, you'll learn this, I guess. Some people learn it through trial and error. Well, what do you think I did? You know, a lot of people, you know, if you look at my channel, you know, a lot of people, yeah, oh, sharpshooter, them old styrofoam tests, you know, they ain't worth a hoot. Well, guess what? They expose exactly what I'm telling you, and you'll see this in the wild. And if you don't believe me, go over to the Friendly Metal Detector forum, post a comment over there in the All About Detector session, and ask a forum poster over there named Rattlehead, okay? Ask him how this machine behaves in the wild. See what he tells you. He's already posted some information about this. He's even got a program he calls the Silver Slayer program. What do you think he's out there staring at the sky when he's metal detecting? He's bearing down. And he did good last year with this XP Deus too, with a 9-inch call too, okay? So yeah, you will see this doing elevated above the ground test. You'll see what you see above the ground in the ground. The only problem is you can't see in the ground. Oh yeah, once you see what this machine's doing, and you know, and you can take this machine, by the way, with running, let's say you're running a 86 or 7 notch. Let's say you get over a target. Let's say you go to an old schoolyard, for example, and you get over a target. It's breaking over. And you can hear it, and you look at the meter, and it's like, look at there, 89 in the window. Well, what happens if you go in over some of those targets, take the notch out of the machine, and sweep over them? If you do that, and you sweep over one of them targets, and you have to really listen to hear that high tone, maybe it's ultra clipped, or maybe it don't even really come up as high. You know what that would suggest, right? That would suggest masking. And if you take your pin pointer, dig that hole, and you find that high conductor, if you keep looking around, you're probably going to find a masker, okay? It'll be there. That's what was keeping the machine. Now, see, a clean hit target running no notch. Well, yeah, this machine will light that same target up. The masker's not there. Notch is not going to do you any good on the unmasked targets. Okay? But this machine is, the way it works, it's quick. It's seeing the target. The only problem is it's reporting it. But the time of reporting and the way this circuitry works on this machine, if you don't have the notch employed, it's almost like you're doing a disservice to the machine. And it affects the audio that it provides over the same scenario, meaning compared with or without notch. So the audio is generally, you know, it's more alliterative, okay? It's high tone. The tone will match the conductivity level of the target. So a lot of people may have bought these machines. I've not seen a lot of these machines sold, looking around, you know, after they were bought, sold, used. I've seen a few. I've seen one guy, I think he bought one, kept it 2 weeks, said, well, it won't find nothing. None of the rest of my machines will find. I'm like, okay. Question is, did that gentleman use the notch on this machine? Now, something else I need to say here. This machine here, the programs on it can drive how well it does on certain low conductor masker situations, okay? So anyway, that's the detector talk of the day. I hope you enjoyed.